Hello beer tubers and welcome to another beer review with me, Peter, the master of hoppers, today doing a bit of a brewery showcase on Live Oak in Austin, Texas. This is a brewery that's been has piqued my interest for quite a while now, mainly because they're very well known for doing classic beer styles really well. And Will was kind enough to hook me up with some different beers for them to try, so thanks a ton to Will for these. And we're going to be doing them in kind of like a set of showcases because they do a lot of different stuff. We're doing the wheat beers first, then we've got pills, and then we've got Rauch beers, and then we'll still have a couple beers left to try. But yeah, we're starting with the wheat beers, which are all German-inspired takes on Hefeweizen and Weizenbocks. So this will be really fun. I mean, it's not something I drink too often, but back in the day, Hefeweizen used to be my jam, man. I loved them. But for some reason, I kind of grew out of them. But once in a while, I think it's very nice with a really good Hefeweizen. So it'll be really fun to try this. And a lot of people say that the takes that they do on both Hefeweizen and Pilsners are some of the best in America. And especially also, like, the Hefeweizen for sure is what I've heard a lot of. So this will be really interesting. So we've got 3 to check out. We're checking out their Hefeweizen, their Winter Weizenbock Krampus, and their Primus, which is a Weizen Doppelbock, which looks very much inspired by Aventinus. But let's start off with the HefeWeizen here. So this is a Bavarian style HefeWeizen, 12% or 12 fluid ounce can, not 12%, 5.3% alcohol. It just smells like banana city galore here. So they're from 1997. So actually a very old craft brewery that I haven't heard of until like maybe last year or so. But let's try the Hefeweizen first. Just move things around here a bit. So pouring out, it looked pretty much like what you'd expect from a Hefeweizen. I actually rolled the cans a bit, as a lot of people do with hazy beers and whatnot, just to get some of the yeast into suspension, making it hazy. You know, that's usually what you also do with the bottom of the bottle of a Hefeweizen from Germany. But I didn't want to pour it into a Hefeweizen glass because they're small bottles. It would look a bit silly, I think, and then, you know, I decided to go with the Spiegelau barrel aged glasses instead. And I also did not pour everything in because I want to be able to smell it. But it looks pretty much benchmark Hefeweizen. It's a light golden yellow, hazy golden yellow with a touch of an orange hue. It's hazy. It's got a white head. When I just poured it out, it did form a nice frothy white head, but it didn't linger as well as some of the German counterparts. I mean, if I swirl it around the glass here, it does generate a bit, but it's not crazy. But let's check out the aroma. Man, that is really dead on. It is really like ripe banana aromas and fresh clove and like really freshly baked wheat bread. Really authentic smelling. Like this smells like just a super fresh Weizen from something like Weizenstefana is what comes to mind, because it's like really fat on the banana character. It also has some spice and whatnot. It's not, you know, it's not like as dark as say Schneider or as weak in character as something like an Erdinger. Maybe something actually between a Paulaner Weizen and a Weizenstefana. But yeah, big banana clovey notes. There's a little bit of a white pepper, even nutmeg to it. And there's just like really fluffy, doughy, bready wheat. But it's really fresh banana. But I'm also getting just a little bit of a ripe banana character. It smells really good. It smells dead on. Let's try it. Cheers. Thanks, Will. Yeah, pretty dead on. Not crazily carbonated, but maybe that's because I was very aggressive with pouring to get heads on the beers for thumbnails. Let's try a sip from the can. Much better. So sometimes, I don't know if I should dink it in or just drink it from the can. More full-bodied here, more carbonated here. But it's not the champagne-y effervescence of some German Hefeweizen. Yeah, I think somewhere in between Paulaner and Weizenstefana is pretty good. They're original. But it's also got a little bit more brightness than I expected. More so than those. It has like a citric lemony quality. Almost like a hop character. Without it, it's not like bitter or anything. And besides that, like that really nice clovey, like white pepper thing. There's almost a hint of vanilla to it too. I much more enjoy drinking this straight from the can. I'm amazed. Wow, that's crazy. Maybe I should be a bit more gentle when trying to generate heads and say fuck it, and not do stuff for the thumbnail, because that's a massive difference. Massive difference. Massive and vast together. It's a really nice Hefeweizen though. Really good. So let's try and jump over to this one. Krampus. This one doesn't have a label. Apparently a lot of their seasonal beers, when they do them, they don't put labels on them. They come in like these mix packs, and then like the artwork is just on the pack. So this one just has a permanent marker writing from Will that says Krampus. So this is one they do for winter. This is a stronger Weizenbock. This was 5.2. I think there's a 7.8 or 7.5. Needless to say, it will be down below. Of a stronger, slightly darker Weizenbock. And I immediately jump to, again, Mein Stefano when looking at this, and their Weizenbock, which is, it's not Corbinian. No, that's the Doppelbock. What is it called? Oh, the name escapes me, but you guys probably know it. Because it's got a little bit more of an orange glow to it, and that beer has as well. So, yeah, looks pretty much what I'd expect. A very nice kind of fat orange looking color, and it's hazy. This is OG haze. And also a white head that was a whole lot more substantial when I poured it out. Let's see how the aroma on this one. So yeah, much more banana on this one, and much more caramelized banana. Much more heavy, like fatty banana aroma. Yeah, the fun thing is like, it seems pretty much like this style to, like, I don't want to say 11, but just dialed up. But you're lacking the freshness. Like, there's not that same citric brightness. It's more just like heavy, caramelized kind of banana notes. Especially from the can. The can, you're getting lots of phenolics and lots of like spiciness and like warming, almost festive spice. I guess that's why it's called Krampus. Because like it's more that clove nutmeg thing and really overripe banana. Also, touch of caramel toffee vibes. It doesn't have the same level of like really freshly baked wheat bread. It's just more dense. It does smell more autumnal, really. But let's try it. Cheers. Much bigger body. Really phenolic, actually. I expected it to be a whole lot sweeter. It drinks more like this on the palate than the aroma indicates. There's definitely more breadiness, but it's more of a heftier bread. And then it's more overripe banana character. But it does have a lemony sing of freshness to it. Let's try it from the can as well. Wow. I'm amazed how these are drinking from the can versus the bottle. Or the glass. But it's just all the time I also spend on taking pictures for thumbnails and all this. Carbonation is just slowly being released. That's just how it is when you do these videos. Or at least especially with these. Because I worked so aggressively to get some head. Actually, with this one, let's just try and dunk in the rest. Just to see if that does anything for the head. And there is definitely a yeast slurry on the bottom, which I should have slurred up even more. But we got enough haze. Yeah, this is like drinking it from the can now. Much better. Very uplifting carbonation. Again, that like citric lemony thing with overripe banana. Much more breadiness. Like really hefty, freshly baked wheat bread. And then it also has the same spice. It's very much like this, amplified, but a touch more overripe. The final one is probably the one I'm looking forward to the most. Because it seems like it's a take on a, fan favorite, favorite of mine. Like a benchmark dark wheat beer, a Weizenbock or Weizen Doppelbock. This is Primus. And this one is 8%, so this is also strong. This is the Aventina's territory. That must be the inspiration. I know there's quite a few other breweries in Germany that also make dark wheat beers like this that are strong. But Aventina's is like the world-class benchmark in my mind, which is so much fun to revisit once in a while. But I think maybe we'll do the same with the glass and bottle here or can to take some sips. But yeah, this will be fun to try. So here I'm expecting just much more robustness. They're using wheat malt and everything. They also have some roasted barley in here and things of that nature to get it nice and dark. So man, this has got no head. This looks almost dead flat compared to the others. If you look at that, we swirl some up? Yeah, a little bit. So otherwise, it's like a very nice nutty kind of brown, muddy brown, more so than nutty brown, with a bit of a ruby tint to it. The hit that's there is slightly beige. It's not a lot, but let's check out the aroma on this one. Ooh, chocolatey. It's definitely not like Aventino's at all. Aventino's almost has Belgian vibes. It's like chocolatey, toasty, chocolatey, malty, almost like a banana split or banana fudge sundae type stuff. Because there's also the overripe banana, but it's not the same level of like really crazy overripe aromas as something like Aventino's that has much more. It's actually much more chocolatey and malty than I expected. There's also touches of caramel in there. It doesn't have that also like with Aventino's has an almost like Belgian spicy feel. This doesn't have too much of that. There's definitely a phenolic character that's spicy. Maybe more warming, festive, more nutmeg, more clove than the others. And also black pepper, not white pepper, but it smells nice. Let's try it. Cheers. Much bigger beer. That's very nice. Very chocolatey, actually, which I didn't expect. Yeah, really chocolatey. Really, it's not exactly like chocolate banana split or banana fudge sundae type stuff. It's towards it, but in a beer version. It tastes more like fresh chocolate or roasted malt, because it's got those vibes. There's rye bread to this more so than wheat bread, almost like you did like, I don't know. It's a lighter rye. It's not like the Danish rye bread that's so hefty. And then it's more of an overripe banana tone. It's almost got like a little bit of a tannic thing on the back end. Could be maybe some of the yeast or something. There's like that dry tannic sensation on the palate almost. And then just like, overripe banana with like these chocolatey caramel vibes. But I don't think it comes close to Aventino's at all. Like, not at all. Or just, I mean, that's just a benchmark. That's the upper echelon if you look at this style. But it is nice. I mean, these are really good interpretations of classic German beer. I think might be some of the best wheat beers I've had from America. Because America often, I've never been the biggest fan of their wheat beers. Especially when it's the pale wheat ones or, the reputation they have of making Blue Moon and Shock Top and all that. But this is, far off that. This is much more authentic and real and traditional. And they really nail the German flavor profile and vibe. Let's also dunk in the rest here and see how it is. Yeah, I said somewhere between this one, definitely somewhere like Paulana, maybe more so than Weizenstefana, in between, something like that. But they are really good. I don't think they're as good as the German ones, the German classics. It's not too long ago I revisited some Schneider beers, and I still think they're better than these. I think they both have bigger mouthfeels, and they are more just intense on flavor profile and carbonation and everything. But a lot of their beers are also like really heavily carbonated. And you can see it on their websites. There's at least on Schneider's, there's info on all stats almost, and you can see how much grams CO2 per liter and everything is in their beers, and it's really high. But yeah, they're just a bit more oomphy and just intense. But they are also brewers that's been making these beers for hundreds of years. I mean, I would take these any day over like Ehringer or Franziskaner, for example. Some of these more bigger produced brands, or I mean, maybe tied with a Paulana or something. I'd probably pick these over Paulana because they offer a little bit more character. But I still think they're not exactly as good as some of my German favorites. But man, maybe I need to revisit all of that stuff. But in terms of grades, I think I'm going to go straight 90, maybe a 91 on the HefeWeizen. It's a really good HefeWeizen. It is, very nice. And then probably around 88 for the Krampus and 86 for Primus. Something like that. I mean, very nice beers all across the board. I'm just not super fired up about them. And I'm often also maybe not super fired up about wheat beers, but when I had some of the really, really good ones last year, I was kind of fired up again. So If you guys had a chance to try either of these beers from Live Oak, either the HefeWeizen, Krampus, or Primus, let me know your thoughts. Thanks a ton to Will for the beers. Stay tuned for the Pilsners, the Rauchbiers, and I think it's a Dunkellager or Dark Lager, Czech Dark Lager, and also an Amber Lager. Will be fun to try those. So, yeah, as always, guys, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page and Twitter and Instagram. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Ring the bell for future notifications about videos. And I'm going to say cheers in my favorite, the HefeWeizen. And see you guys in another beer review.